You seem to be into your introspective singer-songwriters. Do you think that's the sort of artist you are now, or you want to become?
I think it's probably the artist that I am. It's lyrics that are very important to me, which is probably very different from what the old days used to be. You know, only takes a minute, girl, to fall in love is, you know, not a classic line for me. Gary didn't write it, so I'm not slagging off Gary. It's a Tavares song, but I like songs that have a bit of meaning, a bit of depth to it.
4 minutes left to go. Is this the end then? Message on your stereo.
Mark, you are on tour at the minute. Here we are at the venue. It's very exciting being actually sat on the stage you will be performing on.
Yes.
What have you got in store for the audience tonight?
Songs, performance, busking some moves, great band, great songs, and I think we're going to have a full house tonight, so it's going to be a great atmosphere.
When you know it's the final time, she now.
What's it like being on the road these days, we a band?
I love it. I think we've known each other for a few years now, and a real good vibe on the road. Everybody's really together.
Your future track, Mark?
I was fortunate enough in Germany not too long ago to be able to review 10 new albums. My winner was a band called Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah. And I think the single is This Love. He's just got an amazing voice on him. I almost said it's all quite spoken, quite chanty. And just the sound of it. And I think that's my tip for 2006.
So much different than me, this I know. And I'm only enemy, pain is all that I can see. I see you're climbing a tree and I know.
It's quite strange, because usually our artists that we have on the show, when you say, right, future hits, they go for one of their own. Why did you choose not to?
Well, that's not what it's about, though, is it? This is like a soundtrack to your life. I'm not very good at selling myself. I never have been, really. It's always been a bit of a problem. I'm not a marketing man, really, more creative. I'm proud of what I do, but I like people to discover for themselves, really, rather than me throw it into their face. Always looks a little bit naff, doesn't it?
Our musical gossip and chat with Mark Owen continues as he reveals more of his Orange playlist. Still to come, his dedication and all-time favourite song. All this plus more on the way.
Well, for 6 years it wasn't intentional. I couldn't get a bloody song listened to. They'd probably just turn up, oh, Rob's here, he's coming up, you know. But fingers crossed. Take That and Radiohead, very similar.
Today's guest is Mark Owen, the man voted sexiest on Planet Pop 3 years in a row during his days in the much-loved Take That. Now the boys are back together again. I've come to Manchester to find out a little bit more from the man himself, plus discuss that all-important soundtrack to his life.
I couldn't get a bloody song listened to, really. I was going around every record company in the world, but nobody was interested. I remember coming up and just seeing a sea of people, and my first thought was, do you have to sing louder?
You are quite a private person.
Yeah.
How have you maintained that sort of level of privacy?
Well, for 6 years it wasn't intentional. I couldn't get a bloody song listened to, really. I was going around every record company in the world, but nobody was interested. I was trying to make noises, but it didn't really happen. I had people saying, you know, you've had your time and stuff like that, and it's not nice, really. I learnt a lot whilst in Take That. I always say it was a bit like a college or a university, you know. I went into the band, you know, maybe listening to Boyz II Men and came out listening to Radiohead or something like that. There's nothing like writing your own songs. Me and Rob wrote a middle eight on Shore. The holding, squeezing, touching, teasing bit, we wrote that in Korea. We were very pleased. We just sat down in my room one night trying to find all the words that ended in ing. And that was it, easy. We thought we can do this writing lark.
So you still got quite a close relationship now?
When I was in LA making the record, we got together, he'd come down to the studio, I'd go up to his house and play a bit of football and play some songs. So I see him now and again, but not that often.
You got on stage in Nebworth?
Yeah, no, that was an experience.
What was that like?
Amazing. I was stood at the side of the stage and I was kind of looking out and, you know, I could only see an angle kind of off there and I was thinking, this isn't that big, Nebworth. There's only about 10,000, no problem here. But then I came out of the floor and I remember coming up and just seeing a sea of people. And my first thought was, do you have to sing louder?
Do you think he will make a guest appearance on the last one?
Who knows? It'd be great if he did, but I think it'd be a surprise. It'd probably be a surprise to us if he did as well. He'd probably just turn up. Oh, Rob's here, he's coming up, you know. But fingers crossed. I'd like him to. I know, maybe he's sat watching telly and there's not much on one night and he might think, oh, the lads are on in town. Maybe I'll go and sing a little bit of Everything Changes But You.
Your dedication track, you have to dedicate it to someone special in your life, Mark. You have chosen...
My band.
You've chosen your band, right, okay, fine. And what's the song you're going to dedicate to your band?
As soon as we're in Manchester, we've gone for Joy Division and Love Will Tear Us Apart.
It's a really weird song to dedicate to someone. Do you think love will tear you and your band apart? Is this a premonition?
We've had a good year together. We've been out on the road for the whole year and we are now, I suppose, in February, kind of going our separate ways for a while I go and do the Take That thing. So, yeah, Take That will tear us apart.
Why do you think Manchester has produced so many amazing acts over the years?
And the people, really. There's a real kind of rootsy kind of feeling here. The voices, they've got something to say. They've got opinions, and I think that's great.
And it rains a lot, so they sit in their
bedrooms. And it rains a lot, so
guitars.
that's a much better reason. That's probably it. Yeah, we have a lot of rain, so we all sit in.
Tell me about your new material. What's the sort of flavour of it?
It kind of goes a bit all over the show. I think the freedom that knowing I was doing it myself just allowed me to express myself in any way that I wanted to, really. I just like the freedom that it gives you. Basic things like going over to America to record the album and, you know, working with the people that you want to work with. I worked with Tony Hoffer on the new record.
Because he's worked with Beck and
Supergrass, The Thrills. It was a total pleasure to go out to LA for 6 weeks and record over there. And Tony said at the end that it was his proudest work to date. He probably says it to everybody. But,
yeah, of course yeah.
On the last day, yeah.
Your all-time favourite song now, Mark. It is time for the big one. What have you gone for?
Well, probably my all-time favourite band, of which there's probably many songs you can choose, but the band is Radiohead. I remember being in Acapulco and I was lying on the beach, and then when this song kicked in, the song is exit music from a film, and Tom sings, "Wake from your sleep, dry your tears." I just went, oh God, I might as well give up. Wake.
Why do you think Radiohead are so popular with musicians?
When they did OK Computer, they then went completely off and into Kid A and that kind of way. They didn't try and repeat that. Lyrically, a stunning band. I think they've inspired so many artists over the years in a similar way to Take That did. Take That and Radiohead, very similar actually.
Have you ever seen them play live?
Many times. Many times. My first time I went to see them was in Stoke. After the show, a bit embarrassing really, they said, "Do you want to meet the band?" Like the bloke, and I walked upstairs. I walked into the room, and I think Tom came over and he said, "Do you want a drink?" And I saw that he had a kind of red stripe in his hand. I never drink beer. I just copied off him, you know, and I'm sat there with this beer. It was the first time I was ever a little bit starstruck, really, in the Radiohead dressing room. I didn't really know what to say. Just sat there with my beer, really quiet.
You have seen and done so much in your life. What would you like to achieve now?
My main aim is just to carry on doing what I am, continue touring. That's all I want to do, really. And a family, I guess.
Mark, thank you very much for joining us on the Orange Playlist today. Your choices have been brilliant.
Thank you.
And it has been the soundtrack to your life, so thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.